Thank you, everybody, for coming to the meeting this evening. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amy, can you take roll call, please?
Mr. Gilbert?
Here.
Mr. Detzel?
Here.
Mrs. Detzel? Here. Mr. Teesword?
Here.
Mr. Yosemore?
Here. Matt, are there any legislative updates?
Not much new reports this last meeting with them being in summer session, but I do have to report the State Board of Education appointed Dr. Stephanie Sedens as interim state superintendent effective September 25th. That's all I have.
Thank you. And that brings us to Pam, Student Achievement Liaison Report.
Yes, I'm excited to introduce Principal Karen Grayson, and he's got a program for the Summer Enrichment Program.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having us. I'm very excited to be here tonight with this lovely team from Envision Children. We had the pleasure of working together to plan our summer learning programs that were at the Struble site and the Taylor Elementary site this summer. So I'm going to turn it over to Debbie Lauer. She's the Director of Operations with Envision. She has a few things to share with you, and then we do have a video so you can hear from the voices of our students in just a little bit.
Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you all this evening for this opportunity to talk with you. Really excited to be able to share with you that we supported over 311 of your students this summer. 29 kindergartners, 71 second graders, so the biggest number were second graders. We kept those second grade teachers pretty busy. But over 300, we were pretty excited. So as far as the student experience, they started every morning with breakfast in the classroom, an hour of reading instruction, an hour of math instruction, sometimes the whole class, sometimes small groups, obviously restroom breaks. They had lunch served in the classroom because of COVID. Recess afterwards, got to let those little ones out there to play and get that energy out, right? And then the afternoon, each week we had a weekly theme. So they would do projects, science, technology, engineering, art, math, to really kind of engage them and get their brains going in those ways. Fridays were fun days. So we took them on 3 different field trips. You'll hear from them what they thought of those field trips to Smale Park, Pyramid Hill, over to Miami Whitewater. And we had what we called a Community Helper Day on Friday, where we brought in different leaders from around the community to show these little ones, this is what you could do when you grow up. And we had some great experiences with that. And the fire department. The kids loved the fire department. We'll hear all about that. How are we going to measure their achievement? As many of them as we could. We did pre and post assessments. And we plan on sharing that information with the teachers, the Northwest teachers. Any student in 1st through 5th grade who was there during week 8, we did math testing, both reading and math. So the idea is within a 3-year period, we want to get 80% of those students up to the 41st percentile. So we'll be tracking, working with Brenda and her team over a 3-year period to see if we can hit that mark. We sent out a parent satisfaction survey only last Friday because we were off during the month of August. 233 parents received that. Many parents had more than one child in the program this summer. 31 responded by noon today. 75% of those parents said the reading and math instruction was excellent or very good. No one rated it poor. 74% of them rated excellent or very good the STEAM projects that I just mentioned. We asked them, would you recommend to another parent? 21 of the 31 gave it a 10 on a 0 to 10 scale. No one gave it less than a 5, so we were pretty excited about that. So who supported the students this summer? Your Northwest Transportation, Cafeteria, folks, they were amazing every day. The custodial staff, we talk to them every day, thanking them for what they do. It was wonderful having the nursing staff on hand, and we needed their help. And then, of course, Matt's tech team helped us now and again. Karen, Lori, and Brenda were just amazing support. support to me and to our 2 camp directors, and we could not have done it without any of you. So we thank you for that. 19 amazing teachers and 37 aides supported your kids this summer. Students who are 3rd, 4th year college students were aides, people who just graduated from university, and people who've been teachers for years. We had a great mix of people helping your kids this summer. In a few minutes, we're going to show you the show you the video where we asked the students, what did you think, right? So you'll hear directly from them. What's going to happen next is we're going to get together as Envision Children later this week, look at the parent feedback, look at the feedback from the teachers and the aides, our own Envision staff feedback, and look at how we make it better for 2022. I've invited Brenda to provide feedback. I know Karen and Lori did that early on for us, and we needed that early on coaching. So we're looking forward to putting that full report together. We could not have done this without these 2 ladies supporting Christina Birchfield at Struble. She had about 1/3 of the kids. And then Shelley Hamler over at Taylor, she had about 2/3 of the kids. So I would like each one of them to just kind of share with you, kind of like their favorite student moments. So Christina, who is an instructor for us at Envision, will go first. Thank you, Christina.
So I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity, but 2 of my most memorable students were in the kindergarten class. One, he was 5 years old at the time, but he came in not knowing maybe half the letter names, uppercase letter names. He left knowing the majority of the letter names, letter sounds, and about 20 to 30 sight words, which I thought was awesome. It was so great to see the achievement. Another kindergartner, he was a little anxious to come to school. He struggled with the transition from going from walking in the building and going to the classroom. After that, after we could get him in there, he was fine. So I worked with his mom, and at one point, both she and I were out there for a good 20 minutes, and we're like, it's not gonna work today. So we made a deal with him. We started out where he would come in 30 to 40 minutes a day, just for lunch or for breakfast and morning meeting. We got to lunch, so that's 3 to 4 hours by the end of the time. And I thought that was an achievement all on its own. So, thank you.
Thank you, Christina. And now Dr. Shelley Hamler, our executive director, got her out of retirement. She is a retired assistant superintendent, and we were so thrilled to have her. Shelley?
Thank you. Well, seriously, thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to come back and do something that I love, and that is to create lifelong learners. The support from Lori and Karen and Brenda was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they were there to make sure that our program was going to be a success. And of course, I have to praise the district for extending this opportunity to students so that you could close that learning gap from them being out of school for a year and a half to now being able to get back into school, get acclimated to the school, and to make new friends. Prior to coming here today, I got a text from a grandfather, and he just said, "This is Daisy's grandpa, give me a call." So I called him on my way here, and he said, "Well, I have some good news and I have some bad news." And I said, "Okay." He said, "The good news is that Daisy, who's a kindergartner at Pleasant Run, has just had a wonderful start of the school. She's ADHD and has some other issues and has just flourished. I mean, she absolutely loves it, and he just wanted to say thank you for allowing her to be a part of that program." And then we also have, and thanking the district, because I said the pandemic really caused havoc, and you had the foresight to take preventative measures by allowing this program to be here, because that shows how you feel about your students. The camp provided the students academics as well as fun activities. After all, it was during their summer break, and they are still children, so we did have to have fun. But another goal we had was to also help them build character, along with teaching them social skills. If they don't know anything else, they'll know those social skills. However, you won't see on this video because we had to cut it short due to limited time. But when I asked, what's the one thing you learned about this program? A great majority of the students said, I learned how to be kind. And we all know that no one cares about how much you know until they know how much you care. And this district cares. And so we had a program filled with people, as Debbie has said, who really care, along with all of you. We are excited about the continuation of the program next year. And once again, thank you for all that you do to benefit these students so that they too can become productive and contributing members of our society. Thank you.
It was an amazing experience watching the teachers and watching these two ladies build relationships with your kids, and seeing all the hugs and the high fives in the hallway. And I'm here to tell you, if you've never had the experience of having an entire first grade class run up to you in the hallway to give you a group hug at the same time, you haven't lived, right? So Matt, if you could take it away and show this wonderful video of the students, we'd love to show it.
Describe one thing you learned or improved on this summer.
It's not that hard to like read.
So you improved in reading.
This camp, reading because last year I was not that good at reading, so my teacher had to help me a lot with it.
Describe one new thing you learned or improved on this summer. Describe one new thing you learned or improved on this summer.
Learn different things in math so we can do them. I improved on my I have English on math because subtraction, addition, sometimes multiplication, and
What was your favorite Friday experience?
going to the doctor.
Why?
Because it was one of the best
What did you see on your walk?
I saw
Nice.
I usually like water park because us kids have not much time to play outside and go outside most of the day.
So what was something you did on Friday that was really fun?
Learning to be a firefighter
Yeah? Tell me more about that.
and trying to be a cop
Yeah?
and trying to be an ambulance.
Yeah? So the fire trucks came. Did you get to go in the truck? Yeah? Did you get to practice saving someone's life?
I practiced drawing a car.
Yeah? Was that fun? Did you practice using the fire hose? Yeah?
I
Wonderful.
started to follow.
Yeah? Awesome. Thank you.
What was your favorite Friday trip or experience?
The fire truck. Got to Paris Field to see the statue. My favorite Friday was Cincinnati.
What did you do down there?
We went like a park and to rivers. My favorite Friday experience
Oh, you mean downtown to the Smale Park? Nice. What was your favorite Friday activity? Why?
I like to go to Carol and Gale, and I like to see cats. That turns into me because it was very fun. In the water, and on the water, swings, especially when we have the jacks. My favorite memory was when we had our first ever field trip. That was really exciting.
What's your favorite memory from the program?
Stand and be because one was the eating one from all around the world. It was my favorite because the drumsticks, cooking, and the drink. My favorite thing about summer camp was meeting Mr. Nick.
Who was he?
My teacher.
And what was great about Mr. Al?
He was hot and like rivers. And our best friend. My father told me right? We were at downtown Cincinnati at the park. Chris's one. And we were messing around with that. He accidentally touched me with some water. So I splashed it back at him. And I
Awesome. Describe your favorite memory from the summer program.
I did the airplane. And then I got to be a fire
So tell me about a favorite thing you did during summer camp.
So I really liked hunting, and then I found some animals. It was hard to find the lion. It was on top of me, and I didn't even look up.
Was that a scavenger hunt you went on? Did the lion make a roar?
No, it was a stuffed toy.
Oh, it's a good thing it's not. Did-
Remembering Dr. Chapman because she helped start this program, and she was very amazing, really nice, and I loved her outfits. I will remember my classmates, my teacher, Miss Girl, and Dr.
Thank you so much.
Perfect timing when we planned the year off to have this tonight. I just want to thank all of you. I mean, watching the video and being able to see the kids and hearing their reactions, especially things that some of us take for granted, to see a bridge or the river or how to make a friend, it's very special. And I just think all of you connected very well, and the kids are very lucky to have you.
I just want to say that Brenda was gracious enough to invite me to the summer program at Taylor. And when I came in the parking lot, saw these buses there. The transportation people were actually showing how the kids get out of the exit, the emergency exit, in case something drastic would happen. I thought that was pretty neat. But then I went into the building, and it was great. Let me tell you something. The kids were sitting there, they were involved. The teachers and the teacher aides were helping the kids, and I talked to some of the kids, and the one lady that introduced me, I don't know what her name was, she said something I guess she couldn't pronounce my last name, but she said, "This is Mr. Joe." That was, but yeah, I got to meet some of the teachers, and they were fantastic. And the kids were really, at that time, I guess they were into the program already for a couple of weeks. They were very enthusiastic. And I will say something about the people who were filling the bags down in the cafeteria. I saw all those bags. I could never do that. It would just drive me crazy. But they were very dedicated to making sure that every bag has the proper stuff in it. So I want to commend the people from Taylor and you folks too. I'm sure it was a great summer program.
Very good. When you were saying kindergarten, is that what they're coming into kindergarten?
They're coming into kindergarten.
Wow, what an experience. That was probably really refreshing to see, taking your time and watch this little one progress and be ready.
It was amazing. That's honestly out of everything. That's what I'll remember the most.
That's your memory?
That will be my main memory from it. Yeah.
When we did the training, I told everyone at the end of training, I said, now close your eyes and think about the favorite teacher that you had growing up, whether it was in grade school, high school, whatever. I said, now how did that make you feel? I said, you have the opportunity to be that person this summer, and I watched them do it. It was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably the first semblance of normalcy in quite a long time. You actually got to do everything that you love to do, and that means, so congratulations, very successful.
Thank you. Sure enjoyed it.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to our continued partnership, so.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Joe, it was I who introduced you. You're right. I didn't know
That was my last name. That was funny. That was hilarious.
All right, that brings us to Butler Tech update.
Yeah, Mark, I'd like to bring up John Graff, our superintendent, and Marty Durham, our assistant superintendent, are going to give a presentation here on what's going on at Butler Tech.
So good evening, everyone. Again, my name is John Graft, and this is the Assistant Superintendent for Butler Tech, Marty Durham. It's our pleasure to be here tonight, sharing with you a little bit about the updates that are happening at Butler Tech. First, just want to say thank you for the partnership. Northwest Local Schools is a great partner of Butler Tech. Our success is your success. I want to say specifically congratulations to you, Mr. Yater, on becoming the superintendent. Well-deserved, and look forward to working with you in the coming years. So tonight's presentation is 40 slides, but we promise that we will be finished in a brief 15 minutes. And if we start to go over, please wave your hands or share, because we do have a lot of things that we want to share with you, a lot of fun things. We're not obviously going to be able to compete with kindergarten kids or incoming kindergarten kids, but we'll try to do our best. We call this the Education Revolution at Butler Tech because we are tired of the old assembly line model. We know that Northwest has been partners with us on this education revolution, and we want to try to design and build programs that meet and exceed expectations of students. Our mission of transforming lives, making students career ready and college prepared is part of our mission. One of the ways that we do that is collect data. And I know this looks very, very complicated. We have a system called QuickBase that we utilize, in which we build apps. It connects a lot of data that we utilize for academic purposes, for graduation purposes, for industry credentials. This is one app of the over 50 apps that we have in the QuickBase system. This is inside designed, so we use the system to build these specific structures in place. We call it KIP-Base because Kip Hamilton, who is our data and assessment person, builds these apps for us. If you ask me to explain it, I'll just say that it looks really, really busy. I know what the outcome of it is that I want, but it's giving us real-time data that we need to make good decisions to help students.
Miller would love this. I knew it.
These are some of the new things that we've added. It includes program information, courses of study, project management. This year we added the items in red: work-based learning, summer professional development registration, transition programs, attendance check-in and check-out for students, inclusion, access, equity, and diversity data, teacher feedback, distance learning. All of those were added apps that we added on top of the other items that we include in that system. These are our strategic goals for the district. Again, our mission of transforming lives, but our goal is to be #1 in student performance, assure financial stability, reach the greatest number of students, outstanding stakeholder engagement, And then the final goal is to operational efficacy, inclusion, access, equity, and diversity. The other data that we collect on the right-hand side is related data, so it may be graduation rates, secondary FTE trends, full-time equivalent trends, so on and so forth, career lab visits, secondary student demographics. If you actually go into our quick-based system, you can touch on each of these and it'll open it up and give you a full report about all of those data systems. So in number one in student performance, what I would say to you is that part of that assembly line dismantling of the education model that we've seen at Sit and Get, we designed what was called a fifth day experience. And I don't know if you want to share a little bit about fifth day experience?
Yeah, and so throughout these slides, you'll see some items that we would love to replicate. We pushed pretty hard for the fifth day experience. If you had not heard of that, students go to school 4 days a week. And on the fifth day last year, second semester, they had a choice. They actually, on our celebration report, we offered 5,465 fifth day experiences that students took advantage of. Everything from CCP courses to martial arts to driver's ed. But we wanted to make sure that the success of this fifth day experience was not just showing up for an experience, it's also about the whole child and mental health. Because some students would work all day, some students would do family things, take care of children, or go to doctor's appointments. So we challenge any district. Last year was second semester, this year it's every Friday. And so students have a choice if they would like to do online learning, if they'd like to come in for an experience. But we just played with our calendar. We got the okay from the state to do it last year, and then full force they're using us as an innovation model this year and allowing us to do it all year. And anyone can do it.
We had 93 students sign up for STNA that were not part of our healthcare programs. They were outside of those programs, and that's the kind of collaborations and that student voice that we're really looking for in fifth day experience. Again, student voice, with the pandemic, I know everybody had to kind of shift and adapt and do things a little bit differently. One of the things that we did was our student showcases. Our first year we did student showcases, we had over 5,000 attendees on our campus that evening. Obviously, 5,000 attendees on a campus during the pandemic probably wasn't a great idea. And so we actually did virtual showcases in which we sent out, and we did not shut it down in 57 seconds, I promise you that. So maybe somebody can help us with that if it doesn't shut itself down.
But this is also, Hamilton City Schools is now doing showcases. I know some of you were able to go watch those in the past. And basically, we took the time that we allotted for parent conferences. We did those in different ways because we had some time, and students were able to showcase how they failed forward. And so they shared with everyone that showed up how they failed forward and what they learned from that. So it's really a way to showcase your students and have those families on the campus to highlight the kids.
They usually shut me down after I go extended time, but I don't even think I've used my five minutes yet. So, you know, student voice is going to be a continuing growing thing. Having an informed consumer, and our consumer is our students and our families, and so they need to know what's happening on our campuses. And so we wanted to make sure that our students had voice and that they had options as part of that fifth day experience, but they were also able to share what their learning was. And that was really part of what our student showcases are about. It's students sharing their content, how it connects with their culture, their social emotional state of how they felt about it, and then their metacognition. They're thinking about their thinking, which is really going to translate into those future-proof jobs that we all can't necessarily predict what those future-proof jobs are going to be. So reaching the greatest number of students, I know that with our associate schools, districts always say, we want more, we want more, we want more. And we're doing everything possible to make sure that we're expanding programs. We're encouraged by the new budget that in fact gets rid of the funding cap for school districts, and it will be helpful to Butler Tech to be able to expand programs. Our adult education enrollment continues to be strong at 637 students in the last year. Our secondary enrollment trend dipped just a little bit. We were 3,707 in the previous year. Last year, even during the pandemic, we were at 3,601 full-time equivalent students. We did see a regression in our satellite programs, which are our associate school programs that we have Butler Tech students or Butler Tech teachers in our school districts. And that's partly due to the pandemic. students focusing on their academics and then dropping off on some of the elective courses that Butler Tech offered. However, our secondary headcount trend, that means the number of students that actually experience a Butler Tech course between grades 7 and 12, 17,185 students in both Butler County and in Hamilton County accessed a Butler Tech course. That sounds like a lot of students. It's still not enough of the number of students that we could or would like to offer programming. One of our greatest successes is Project Life. And if you've not heard of Project Life, Project Search, it's a program that works with students with disabilities who have deferred their high school diploma in order to get work and transition skills to get into the workplace. It was such a great program. We had a number of other districts that asked about it, including in-state and out-of-state. So we trademarked Project Life, and we've actually sold it to across the country, as in Georgia, Missouri, Kansas, a number in Ohio. We've added Wisconsin. And yes, that's not a typo. We do have a program in Canada and Hawaii. Everybody always wants to do the visit to Hawaii, and if you're volunteering to do the visit to Fidelity, you can get in line. There's a long list who want to make sure that the Project Life program in Hawaii is going well. Ensuring financial stability. Our last time we've been on the ballot was in 1975. So I think we've done pretty well at making sure that we're being good stewards of the dollar. But at the same time, we've still accomplished a number of major initiatives. We purchased LaSourceville, which was an amusement park at one point in time, added an adult education programming. We had a joint use agreement to expand our bioscience campus, which a number of students from Coleraine and Northwest attend that campus. We added an addition over there. We changed the logo. We broke ground on a permanent natural science center building, which we hope will be open in August of 22. We created a workforce services department, which Marnie runs at this point as the assistant superintendent. We have added double-digit programs in the past 5 years. We started a 10th grade academy. We created an innovation teaching and learning department. We did a cosmetology renovation, a media center renovation. We started Fifth Day Experience. We navigated COVID. We refinanced outstanding debt. All of these things during this time frame. Many times districts want to slow down. I think for us it was, if we can continue moving at the pace that we need to, we can even pull farther ahead from really where we need to be for the transformation of public education. Again, just some beautiful pictures to look at. Our groundbreaking, up at the top right corner, you can see what the Natural Science Center building will look like. Yes, it does look a little bit like a barn. It's supposed to. It's the Natural Science Center. And we absolutely said we do not want it to look like a school whatsoever. Northwest and local school district, you guys have done a remarkable job with your transformation of your buildings as well. Congratulations, team. An equine barn addition, if you didn't know that, we do equine science. And yes, the horses will be back in the barn very, very soon. We added an addition there. This isn't the most glamorous, but a lot of people think, well, paving and upkeep and HVAC systems and roof systems are all part of that process. We're constantly making sure that our new labs are reflective of what they will see in industry. Our programs get a reputation sometimes for being dirty, dingy, and dangerous. These are high-tech labs that have state-of-the-art equipment, and we try to reflect that in our programs as well. So we've done a number of renovations over the period of time, and we continue to push forward with one-to-one, which all of our campuses, our Butler Tech campuses, have one-to-one Chromebooks and or laptops, depending upon the type of program that they're in. One of the most unique initiatives we started last year was a Broadband for All initiative. It was really an idea when the pandemic hit. It was about how do we get students access to reliable internet services, and I know many people were using the hotspots, which can be reliable, but also are not necessarily filtered. And so we thought, well, can we build a tower and stream our internet services across the community? Happy to report that our tower will be arriving. I'm sure it's not necessarily pieced together. It'll probably be like an IKEA model where all the parts will be there and they'll tell us to put it together. But we'll put it together, and we're going to do a concept at serving free internet to any students that attend Monroe, Lakota, or a Butler Tech student in those two community trailer parks for free, as if they are receiving the internet at the speed on our campuses. Really quite a unique program. The state provided us $250,000 for this project. Outstanding stakeholder engagement. Our business partnerships is really where we thrive.
And so just a couple I was sharing, these are our newest. We work with about 250 different businesses. But as you can see, there was a recent article, 80 Acres over in Hamilton, actually was deemed one of the top 10 most innovative companies in the world right now. We have a partnership with them, just like we do here in Northwest. They give us real life problems. We solve them and put things back on the floor. Kaizen, they're hiring at $20 an hour for our interns for IT. We're doing Work Plus with Miami right now, where a student works part-time for a business and gets paid. The business pays for their college education at Miami. And so we have a lot more coming with that. But that's open to anyone. You have those business partners that are willing to do it, to get the students in early. So we can chat about that if you'd like to do that. Standard Arrow, Gorilla Glue, there's a Hamilton Urban Backyard we just opened, and then Career Connect, that's for any business partner. I would encourage all of you to have that on your website. When people say, oh, we have openings, I direct them there, they put their openings on there, and then students can click to find a job, or you can click to become a business partner with the district, and it has questions on how would you like to be a business partner, and then I get that information, and I can talk to any instructor, academic or in the lab, to say this business really wants to work with you. So it's a great way to keep all of that data. P&G, and Mr. Detzel knows that coming to Northwest soon, October 1st, we're advertising to all students in Northwest, and of course, Sweeter knows as well. So I meet with your counselors in a few days for all sorts of students in our area can have a mentor for P&G for research and development. Hopefully that turns into an internship, and hopefully that turns into a job at P&G. So we're excited about that. It's coming to you soon. And then a couple of things about our experiences this year. 48,000 hours of work-based learning last year during the pandemic, and then all of our credentials.
Yeah, I would like to say to this, that, the pandemic and some people were displaced in their workplace. Many of our students that were in our career tech programs continued to work and actually added hours. Many of our programs are considered essential workers. And so I don't want to say that we were pandemic proof, but as far as the job market was concerned, it only created a greater demand for our students in our programs.
We started a My BT story where students can get in. They're using a tool called Major Clarity, which will lead us to decision day. Instead of having different signing days throughout your months of April and May, we've combined it into one decision day where all students are celebrated for whatever their pathway is. But the key is, we pressure them, you have to have a decision. You're actually going to sign off on it. You're going to have people standing behind you, whether it's from the military or for a company that you're signing or from a college, that are going to celebrate you that day. And so throughout the year, they use Major Clarity as a tool. They fill out what their plan is, and then it's our job to find any holes. Maybe you need an internship, maybe you need a credit, maybe you CCP, whatever it is. It's kind of working to do an IDP on every student in that way through Major Clarity. So at the end of the day, we get down to decision day, and a student can say, I've got my decision, I'm ready to sign off on it. So that was new last year. We'll continue that this year.
Number of other things, and I know we're running a little bit shorter on time. We continue to go after grants. We have what's called a manufacturing educator extension partnership, in which we actually have non-career tech teachers go into the workplace for a week during the summer. Those teachers that are out in the audience that would like to participate next year, come and see us. All right, we get you signed up. You do get paid to do it, but we also want teachers who are not in the career tech fields to have an understanding of what is available and out there in the market. We continue to do a variety of different marketing initiatives. We did 116,000 mailers, 850 air television spots, 22 billboards. We have about a little over 2 million total impressions when it comes to social media. We track all of it. We use Google Analytics. We track every single data piece. If you go to our website, if you click 3, 4, 5 times, we know if you click 3 or 5 times. So we continue to try to read and monitor that. One of the interesting things is more people are using mobile than any other time before. They are accessing data and accessing information about programming using their phones more than they are their computers. And so we tried a variety of different things last year, knowing that the pandemic put us in a little bit of a difficult spot about having people on campus. We did a Butler Tech live session. We did a VR, virtual reality goggles for 8th grade students that was mailed to every single 8th grader in the Northwest Local School District and all of our 10 other associate school districts. That received about 67,000 views, which we were pretty happy with, and we continue to try to grow that. Again, all of these are just things that we're trying to do to make sure that people know about what's happening at Butler Tech and in Northwest Local Schools, about the great things that are occurring in your career tech programs. So what I would also say is that we are absolutely dedicated to collective efficacy, inclusion, access, equity, and diversity. We're happy to share that our new hires, 40%, are either a teacher of color or a staff member in a marginalized population. Part of it is that they hear and speak about our beliefs and our belief system, about making sure that there's equity for all. And we're seeing a growing momentum of people wanting to come to Butler Tech to participate into that work. Our legislative agenda, and I know Mr. Detzel's been a part of this work. We're proud of the fact that 5 years ago, we said we wanted to eliminate the funding cap. We wanted weighted funding for career tech outside of the funding formula. We wanted to be able to expand programs as much as possible. And we feel that that power of presence that we had over the past 5 years and that consistent messaging finally paid off. And I know that the Northwest Local School District did very much the same for years. Congratulations to you and to Butler Tech for being able to finally feel like we've gotten across the finish line. This was supposed to be a video, but I sent it as a PDF, so I'm not going to share it with you, but I'll leave it in excitement about how excited she is. This is one of our adult education videos. You can find it on YouTube. I'll send it to you after the presentation tonight, just to share with you a little bit that we not only do secondary programming for grades 7 through 12, we have a very robust and probably one of the largest career tech centers having adult education. You can be making $45,000 to $60,000 after 6 weeks in going into a CDL program, or take an 11-month program and make a significant amount of money in our HVAC or our welding programs or our practical nursing programs. The last 3 things I'll say: our passion, our purpose, and our impact. It absolutely is what we're about. I love what I do. I hope you at least see a little bit of excitement that what we do, we love. We love the work that we're doing because we feel like we're making an impact on students. We know that the partnership we have with Northwest Local Schools is very important to us. It is part of that transformation of public education. We have tons of people that are telling us outside of public education how we should do it. We believe we're the experts, and if it's not us that's going to transform education, then who is it going to be? And so I look forward to continuing to partner with Northwest Local Schools.
Congratulations.
John, I want to say the showcase, that was awesome, to be able to see the kids and all the different programs. That was really neat and so original and creative how you did that.
Our theme for that was fail forward. And so it was a little bit risky, and we told students, we want you to share something that is something that you may not have been successful with, but share your story about the learning that occurred through that process. And many students shared their successes, but we also had students that, shared how they struggled and how they didn't necessarily achieve what they thought they were going to achieve and why, which is all part of the learning process. Thank you.
John, and the other thing is just so people know, like our engineering class over at Coleraine, those kids go through that and they get an associate's degree at the end. Our manufacturing class, every single kid, if they want a job, we have companies beating down the door to give these kids $40,000 and $50,000 a year jobs.
Yeah, there was
coming right out of high school.
You had one student, I believe, in your machining program that had, we did a showcase a couple of years ago, had 13 job offers in one day.
Yeah.
And we basically had to kind of pull him away from the companies and say, don't sign anything yet until you've had a chance to look at every single offer. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of demand that we're seeing from employers that want to scoop up kids that are in your programs.
And like the adult ed with the welding, we can't have enough people. There's so many jobs for welders out there. You know, and those guys make 60 grand starting off, you know.
Yeah.
And if an adult is really wanting to get into something and something like that, there's plenty of jobs for them out there.
Jobs are out there.
Yeah.
Well, you know you're doing something right when Rob Portman mentions Butler Tech by name on the Senate floor. I mean, you guys have made a big impact, and they know who you are and what's going on.
Well, you know, and again, I would say we are the sum of our success because of our 11 associate school districts. So when you hear the word Butler Tech, I mean, just translate it to it, it's Northwest, it's Hamilton, it's Fairfield, it's Coleraine. I mean, it is everybody coming together and creating Butler Tech.
I like your aggressive model. You want to be the pioneer. I think that's critical. And I think also in that model, teaching the students something about being the cutting edge. Cow catcher on front train, so to speak, knock stuff out of the way. Let's get going.
I like your analogy. I think he's the
Feel free.
You know, and Matt's son is in the aviation program starting up in Middletown, so.
awesome.
Yeah, Matt, you're gonna have to report back to us what he thinks of the program.
Right. Yep.
Awesome.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Daryl, do we have any reports from any employee organizations?
No.
Okay. Okay, that brings us to community comments. Just before we get started, Northwest Board of Education welcomes the opportunity to listen to Northwest Local School District residents' comments, suggestions, and concerns on educational issues. It is important to remember that the board conducts meetings in public, but the meetings are not public forums. The intent of the meeting is to allow the board to complete needed business. Northwest Board of Education meetings are conducted using Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised. Most matters which fall under the jurisdiction of the board may be addressed during the community comments section in the order of business. The board will not discuss negotiations and personnel in an open session. Any concerns or comments about individuals ought to be brought to the attention of administration. A school district cannot discuss personal student information, whether or not discipline was imposed on a student, nor the reason for that decision, because disclosure would be in violation of state and federal law. The following guidelines will be used for public commentary at board meetings. Individuals wishing to address the board must complete and submit a request to speak form to the board president prior to the beginning of the meeting. Individuals will preface their comments in an announcement of their name, address, and group affiliation if applicable. Each person will be given 3 minutes to speak on an agenda items of any topic during the community comments. Public commentary is confined to that portion of the agenda. Individuals will be recognized to speak once on a given topic. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No person may individually address or question board members, district administration, or members of the public in attendance. No response to speaker will occur from board members, district administration, or members of the public in attendance during this time. Appropriate follow-up by the district administration may occur at a later time if warranted. No more than 15 minutes will be devoted to the public participation unless the board votes unanimously to continue the discussion. Repetitive statements may be ruled out of order by the presiding officer, and the presiding officer has the right to terminate the participant of any individual if the person violates the rules of good order. Laws of the state of Ohio determine the powers and duties of the Board of Education, the superintendent, and the CFO treasurer. Right statement. We have one application to address the board, and that is Megan Chapman.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So, do I start now?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
My name's Megan Chapman. Do I need to give my address and all that?
We have it
Okay,
on the
it's
form.
just all in the
Yep.
thing. Okay. I've never done this before. I'm kind of new to the whole school
Sure.
thing. But,
Take your time.
all right, I'm going to start now. Good evening. I'm here tonight to give a speech that I wanted to give the last board meeting, but honestly, I was really devastated by the announcement of the mask policy that the school had done before the board meeting. So I needed to collect my thoughts and went to yoga instead because I needed some zen. So here I stand, thoughts collected, coming from a place of love. Love for my children, love for their school, and love for our community. This morning, I was sent a picture of my kindergartner's class. In that photograph, I saw maybe 5 to 6 students with masks on. Only my child and one other student were wearing their masks properly. All of the students were in close proximity. If one of those children in that class had COVID, it would be very likely that most of their class would be infected. Although the board strongly recommends masks, in practice, it appears that the recommendation is really an option in disguise. My daughter has an autoimmune condition, and this is why it's so important to me. Although her doctors believe that she would be fine if she were to be infected with the coronavirus, that's not something I'm willing or interested in testing. Children's hospitals across the nation are quickly filling with coronavirus patients. Otherwise healthy children are currently lying in ICU beds, and some have even died from this disease. It will only get worse unless the community comes together to stop the spread. The only options we have to stop coronavirus from spreading are the vaccine, social distancing, and masks. Currently, children under 12 do not yet have access to the vaccine, which is the most effective option by far. Social distancing is hard for kids and is really not conducive for in-person learning. So masks are what we have left to protect our elementary school students from the virus. The board's plan is a reactive approach, and given how the Delta variant spreads, it will be too little too late. The time to act is before the virus spreads out of control. So I'm asking that you either adjust your parameters down to what it was maybe a month before you had your highest numbers in November because of just how fast this one spreads. Otherwise, I'm really just kind of imploring you to require masks for elementary school students until they have a chance to get vaccinated, because it may be a matter of life or death for my peace. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary. We'll address some of this when Mr. Gator does his update. Okay, that brings us to the adoption of the superintendent consent items.
In the consent items, you'll see the personnel items. Just some highlights. There are 23 resignations in there, but I do want to, because it seems like a lot, but over half of those are due to a change in the way auxiliary funds are happening. So a lot of those are St. Ives tutors who are now going to be fully funded through St. Ives and not flow through the district. So just wanted to clarify why it looked like there were so many resignations. We do have 29 initial appointments. Many of those are replacements of current vacancies or additional positions funded through ESSER funds. We have 3 change in statuses. That typically happens when we verify transcripts for incoming staff members, and based on what's verified on the transcript, we adjust the pace where they are on the salary schedule. Other items on there are a job description for an ESL assistant as we try to revamp and modify how we support our students who have English as a second language. And then we have our transportation OPC contract on there. We went through a very collaborative process and have gotten to a very good place where we have a contract that has been ratified by OPC and is now for your approval. In addition, we have normal vendor contracts that are supporting tuition for students out of district, nursing services, it's homecoming season, so vendors, DJs for homecoming, music contracts for our music programs, and an HR consultant for to continue our work around minority recruitment and retention. We do have some donations for the district. We have donations from Home Depot, which gave supplies to Corrigan Elementary, Blackbaud Giving Fund, which went to Pleasant Run Middle School, Matthew McGean Jr. Foundation for AED equipment, and Chimoda's Gourmet Cookies and Candies to Corrigan Middle School athletics as well. Under curriculum, we do have a revised program of studies for the high school, as well as revised handbooks for Corrigan High School and Northwest High School. This is a reflection in the way we're doing the block scheduling this year, and some modifications we needed to make for how many courses could be declared by a student to maintain equity for all of our students who are seeking declared courses, and making sure that we maintain the weighted GPAs. And then we also have a handbook for our Northwest Online School, which is the online school that we started this year in response to kind of some changes in state legislation that allowed us to do that. And then we shared the wellness policy last time with you. This time it's the adoption of that policy. So with that, the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the adoption of the superintendent consent items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
So motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, could you please explain the ESL program that you're going to provide?
So in the past, we've had tutors who supported our ESL students. As we've looked at how we best meet the needs of our students, this year we have teachers who have their TESOL endorsement, as well as tutors, and layering another level of support will be ESL assistants who work directly with some of our tutors and ESL teachers to make sure that we can give direct support to students, and they would work under the direction of our tutors and teachers. So it's an ability to give more direct support to students.
And ESL stands for?
Our ELL population are students who have English as a second language.
Just a note, I know that Mr. Fisher's name is on the not Aaron days, just for on the point.
On the handbook?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go, sorry. It was hiding from me.
That passes 5-0. That brings us to adoption of the fiscal consent items.
Good evening.
Hi.
First, I ask the board to dispense with reading of and consider to approve the regular meeting minutes from August 9th and the special meeting minutes from August 19th. We also have our financial reports for the month of July. Our all funds balance was $50 million, and our general fund unreserved balance was $16.6 million. And this is down from $32 million in June. So in 1 month, that shows you the difference of our cash flow. We get our tax payments in August and February, so it also shows you the need for having our reserves. If you have that dip down so much in one month. Our revenues were at $2.4 million, and our expenditures for the month were at $7.4 million. Our investment weighted average return is 0.6%, so like 60%. We're up a little bit from June. And our list of monthly bills were our routine monthly bills, as well as we had student software, some severance payments, we had roofing repairs, legal services, sports officials, and auxiliary fund payments. And then we had some then and now certifications. So we had 3 certifications that need to be made for invoices over $3,000, and these were prior year invoices where the purchase order was closed at year end and now need a new purchase orders because one is now not in place to pay for May or June invoices. And so we're continuing to do professional development and training regarding year-end processes. So with that, I'd like to ask the board, one more thing. We also have asked the board to accept, approve, and appropriate 2 local grants. So we have 2 teachers at PRE who received local grants to help with math skills, social skills, and having some fun with some games on Fridays. So with that, I'd like to ask the board to approve the consent items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconds. Any questions? Comments?
There we go, sorry.
The lead passes 5-0.
What are you doing?
Let me slay it all over. Okay, that brings us to superintendent updates. Daryl.
So I want to start by just thanking Envisions for being here tonight and the partnership we have with them and the way they have supported our students, and really appreciate that partnership and look forward to how that will continue to grow. Also want to thank John and Marnie for being here and giving that very robust presentation about our partnership. It is a phenomenal partnership, and we do value all of the work that we do collaboratively to make sure that all of our students in Northwest have any opportunity presented to them that will best suit their needs. So we really appreciate that partnership. I want to take a moment and really thank everyone in the district for a really strong start. Our staff have really gone above and beyond to make sure that it's a smooth transition into this school year. And so we've had everyone pitching in and doing what they can to make sure that the year started smoothly. We've had some of our transportation administrators who've been driving buses. I was helping put kids on bus at one of the schools. Everybody has really jumped in and has done whatever needs to be done to make sure that it is a smooth start. And I can't say thank you enough to all of the employees of the district who have done everything in their power to make sure that kids are smiling and happy and excited to be in school. With that, obviously it's the beginning of the school year, so there are new patterns, new procedures, and so traffic at some of our buildings has been a work in progress, and our administrators and our transportation department continue to work to make sure that we have traffic flowing and we are getting kids where they need to go in a timely manner. So it is getting better, and we do appreciate everyone's patience as we work through making those adjustments at the beginning of the year. Want to make sure that I do let everyone know Butler Tech highlighted a lot of the industry credentials and ways that people can be engaged and employed, and want to highlight that, you know, we are still having some positions that are open, and so we are really encouraging people who are interested. We have some intervention assistant positions that are still open. That would be working in our elementary schools, working with students around reading and math. We do have some health assistant positions that are open, working with our nurses to make sure that our students are safe and healthy. And then we do have some open positions for drivers. So if anyone is interested in being a bus driver, we do offer a driver in training program. So as people come in, we actually have a paid program that while they work to get their CDL and their school bus endorsement, they are on paid status with us, and we have phenomenal OBIs instructors that are working with our new employees to make sure that they are prepared as they move into their route or to be a sub. So anyone who's interested in being a driver, please make sure you check out our website. Those are 3 phenomenal opportunities to join the Northwest family and be a part of something really special. And then the last update, we did pass the policy for our COVID response. And we did pass a tiered plan that said we would monitor our local data, and that we prided ourselves on being able to make sure that we focused on monitoring trends and responding locally to what's happening in our district. So I do want to share where we are with our current plan. If you want to switch the screen. Our tracker, we did say we were going to track district zip codes. We have 5 zip codes. 3 of our 5 zip codes have to be above our benchmark. When we set our benchmarks were not at the height of the pandemic. They were in that upward swing. So we wanted to make sure that we were not just a blip, that we were following a trend before we made any changes. Currently, our 5 zip codes, we have 1 that is over our, 2 actually now, that are over our benchmark, and the other 3 are trending that way, but not there yet. The county trend is over 200, but 255 is our benchmark. We did exceed our student positive cases for the week this week. Our staff positive we have not. And we have exceeded the student quarantine benchmark that we set. And then we're already had exceeded the CDC level of community transmission. With that, we have met 3 of our indicators. Our tiered response plan was at 2 indicators that we would modify our lunch. So currently our buildings are working to implement their modified lunch procedures. That might be seating charts that align to the classroom seating charts so that kids are sitting in lunch next to students that they sit next to in the classroom to minimize the number of students who are quarantined if there is a positive case. We are also limiting visitors to our building to try to mitigate that spread from someone bringing it into our building from the outside. So parents can expect that if they need to come pick up a kid, much like last year, they'll call when they get there, and we'll have procedures to make sure that we get the kids where they need to go. And then because we've hit 3, our 3rd indicator means that we move into a masking policy for our whole school. So this will be communicated to all of our staff and our parents in the next few hours. And we will give tomorrow as a transition, and we will start Wednesday with masks for all staff and all students. We will continue to support all of our students as they learn to kind of relearn being in a mask all day, making sure that they're wearing it properly. We'll be giving a lot of prompts and a lot of support to make sure that we have that. But with our indicators based on our plan, we will be in masks beginning on Wednesday. Just a reminder, our buses have been in masks from the beginning of the year. It was required, so now the rest of the district will also follow that based on our plan. We will continue to monitor the data and update if any of the other indicators hit. If other indicators pass that benchmark, it would go into possible capacity limits at indoor and outdoor events. So we'll continue to follow the plan that you passed, but this is where we are as of right now.
Any questions? Comments? Okay. That brings us to board member comments. Joe?
Well, I've got some concerns about the pandemic, the surge of the pandemic in this district. But I'm especially concerned about the transportation employees. Does the public know, and maybe you can put this on the website, does the public know how many students are to be in each seat for safety reasons? I hear they're loading up on these kids, and that's not good if this surge gets worse. What are the steps at the end of the day to sanitize each bus, and who's responsible to perform this task? I mean, it's bad enough these bus drivers are out there, you know, taking kids back and forth and stuff. I think there should be someone out there to help these guys perform this task. And like Daryl said, there is a shortage of bus drivers. This is epidemic in the nation right now. To the point where people who are responsible to answer concerns of parents in the transportation office are actually driving buses. So those people have taken it upon themselves to do that bus thing. My question is, can we use some ESSER funds to extend the hours of the bus drivers? I hear it's at four hours now. If we can extend it to 6 hours. My last thing is, my grandchildren are bused to their school every school day. They respect their drivers, and we should respect the driver. We, as the district, should respect the drivers also. Thank you.
Just wanted to thank the presentation from Envisions. That was spectacular, what those kids got to do and how much they've improved, obviously, what was presented to us. And hopefully we can get more kids involved in that next summer also. Butler Tech, appreciate John and Marty coming out. And when you said they're enthusiastic, it's like that at every board meeting. You know, there's always some type of presentation. And they're definitely there to, help out kids and get them to the next step, whether it's college or job or, in the Army, Air Force, Marines, so on. And then I wanted to say to Megan, good job. You weren't too nervous. And obviously, what Daryl was saying, you seem pretty happy. So I can't see your face, but it's okay. But you did a good job. But yeah, other than that, good luck to everybody, and let's just get our masks on and get through this, and then we can, get back to where we were. Thanks, Jim. Pam?
A few things. First of all, last Thursday night, I want to thank all the families that came out to Strippers Grove for the Back to School Bonanza. That was sponsored by Community Partners for Education. It was so much fun just seeing all the different kids, and I got the opportunity to ask a lot of them where they were from, and I want to tell you that there were a lot of Struble Blue Jays there, and so it was just really neat to see. They get the opportunity to ride on rides and play putt-putt and see other classmates. So thanks to all the families and volunteers that helped make that happen. I too, the Envision program blew me away. Just to hear, the women talk about it and just how much it impacted Christina with the little boy, or to get him in the school, and to be able to watch it on video. And I know it takes extra time and extra effort, for the staff to do this, but it's just so nice for us as board members to get to see that, and then for it also, hopefully, other families are getting to see this since Waycross is here, because there's just so many wonderful things that go on every day, and now in the summer as well, and this way a little bit to share, to get other people to see what's really going on. So congratulations to a very successful program. Always enjoy hearing Marnie and John and Jim Trick. They're always that enthusiastic all the time, no matter where you run into them. And thank Jim for inviting them to come here and share this, because there are so many opportunities for all of our students, and I just hope everybody takes advantage of that. And then I want to congratulate the two Pleasant Run Elementary teachers that received the grants. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes, writing grants and just all the paperwork and so on and so forth. So congratulations to the two of them for taking the time, aggressively going after those grants and being awarded them. And I know they will put them to good use. That's it.
Yeah, I also wanted to thank Envision Children for their presentation for the Academic Summer Enrichment Program, and also my appreciation for all the staff that supported that program. And thank you to Butler Tech for their presentation this evening.
Pam, I think you said most of what I was going to say. The Envision is, I'm so glad we had that presentation for the first board meeting after school started. That refreshes us as to why we're here. It's neat to see the magic in Christina's voice. That's why our educators educate. They love that. And so that's very apparent. That's a very good litmus that the magic's still there. The Butler Tech presentation was amazing. As John was sitting here presenting that, I think a lot of these folks, a lot of these kids coming out of their high school career, by the time they settle on some type of skilled trade that some of them go through, they're probably mid-20s, maybe 20, maybe heading toward latter 20s, and they're coming out at 18 years old with basically almost 10 years ahead of the curve, which is very impressive because there's such a need for skilled labor, some of these skilled jobs, and also the non-skilled, but the stuff that's prepping them for their advanced training. That's really, when you looked at that one picture where all the lines were, like, they put a lot of thought in it, and I really do appreciate their aggressiveness to be the best at it. Want to congratulate all the administrators. This is my 4th year on the board, and I think this is probably the smoothest start of the school year that we've had. in my board tenure. I also want to just congratulate Erin Davis and Casey Schurz, two of our new leaders that I watched Erin at the football game Friday, and she was all over it. It was, we had some delays, and she really, every time you look, you're like, wait a minute, there's another Erin Davis, because she was just over there, now she's over here. And Pam, I'll reiterate what you said about the Bonanza. If we're data collecting, there was 540 hot dogs grilled. So keep that. It was about 2 days before I could get the hot dog smell off me. That was great to see the kids. One of the things that I thought was real cool, as kids would come up to get a hot dog, I'd ask them what school they go to, and one of them said whatever school they were, and I said, well, there's your principal right there. And it was Trey, and it turned around like they saw a celebrity. It was so cool. They're like, are you serious? And I'm like,
Principals are rock stars when I
yeah, and I said, go over and say hi to them. And they like just get, it's neat to see that innocent, because, the last couple months we've been dealing with, do we mask, do we not mask? We appreciate everybody's concern and everybody's position, we really do. We're trying to find some mitigated middle ground so that we're being responsible, but we're also honoring our community's wishes. And we get all caught up into this. A lot of times we just forget the simplicity of what it is to be a child. And so when we see these opportunities and we see little kids come up and be little kids, it was awesome. Like, I just sat there and loved watching them squirt mustard and ketchup everywhere. And then they just eat it, and they got, like, it was great. It was great to see that, because we've been kind of locked down for a while. We haven't had an opportunity to see a lot of that. And that's it. Anybody else have anything? We'll close this meeting. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. Great. We're all in agreement. This meeting is over. Okay. Thank you, everybody.